A very good morning, my dear students. Today, in this PPT session, we are going to discuss about the remaining part of the story, Gift of the Magi. So I hope you are going to understand the story in a very proper way. Okay. I had already discussed. I already introduced myself in my previous class. My name is Yogesh. I'm working as an assistant professor at Government First Aid College, Shringeri. So, so here let us start this session. In our previous class, let us have a brief recap of the previous class. What already we have discussed in our last class. In our last class, we had a brief discussion about the author and also brief introduction to the story, and also we had a small gist of the story. We had discussed about the small gist of the story. About the author, the lesson, the story, this short story, this is not only a story, this is a wonderful story, has been written by O. Henry, is an American writer, American short story writer. His original name was William Sidney Porter. In his pseudonym, he had written more than 300 short stories, and each and every stories are very beautiful. Okay, so when you find free time, you can read his remaining stories. If you get them, you can access his stories in any of the websites that are available in internet. Okay. O. Henry, his personal life was not so good. I already told you in the beginning of this class, beginning of the last class. His personal life was not so good. He was imprisoned for so many years because of misuse of the money at bank where he worked. Okay, he was sent to jail for the embezzlement of at the bank where he worked, and after coming out of the jail, he started his writing career, and he has become very famous as a short story writer. Okay, I had written more than 300 stories. I already told you. It is not so easy to write 300 stories, but almost all his stories are very beautiful, and you will enjoy each and every stories when you read them. Okay, so this is Gift of the Magi. Is also a wonderful story, and also we had a small discussion about Della and Jim's true love towards each other and their mutual sacrifice. So Della and Jim are the important characters of this lesson, of this story. Della is such a cute character here we find, and also Jim. Both are young married couple. Okay, these are all the things we have come to know in our previous class. So in this session, learning objectives, after hearing of this PPT session, you will come to know how to frame stories by taking theme of love. You might have heard so many love stories, but this love story is quite different, right? You can frame your own stories by taking the theme, such themes, what you have discussed in this story. You just give a try to frame your own stories either in Kannada or in English. Okay, so both are good, and also you'll understand the concepts associated with the story. Session outcomes, you don't have to worry. And in this particular session, in this particular PPT session, we are going to discuss a few contents. They are concept of love, the biblical story of the Magi, the 3 gifts they had brought, author's conclusion, session summary, and at last you will have some multiple choice questions that you will have to answer. And at the end of this PPT, you will find the references where I have borrowed all these things to this PPT, to prepare this PPT to explain this session. Okay, let us start with the concept of love. Concept of love. So what is love? I think no need to explain about the word love, because as you're all in degree class, one or the other way you might have find the meaning of love. Okay, let us not restrict that word love. Love, it doesn't only happen in between boy and a girl. It may happen in between any two persons. Love, it may happen. Love, definitely it happens in between two persons, like you and your parents, right? You love your parents, so that is also a love. Okay, let us not restrict only love. It will happen in only between two genders, like boy and girl. You love your parents, you love your siblings. You love your siblings means your brothers and sisters, and you love your friends. Okay, love, it has a wider meaning. Let us not restrict, oh, love is, it happens only between two genders, like boy and a girl. Okay, let us not only restrict let us not restrict that word only to that meaning. It has got a wider meaning. Okay, love is blind. We all know that love is blind. ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಕುರುಡು ಅಂತ ಹಿರಿಯರು ಅವಾಗಿಂದನೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲವ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಅಮಂಗ್ anyone is irrespective of caste, color, creed, gender, religion. Do you agree? Yes, you should agree, because if a person decides to love someone, he should not bother about all such nonsense like caste, color, creed, gender, religion. Okay, so love, that should be pure, and if pure love is there, then the person is not going to worry about these things: caste, color, creed, gender, or money, whether the person has money or not, whether he has fame or not. He never bothers about all such things. It can happen among anyone, irrespective of caste, color, creed, gender, or religion. I told you just now that love has a wider meaning. It has wider meaning that can be understood through the lesson Gift of the Magi. Of course, after coming to know the story Gift of the Magi, I think you might have understood that true love that never dies. Because we have seen that young beautiful couple, young married couple, how they have sacrificed each other, how they have sacrificed their precious things for the sake of pure love. Because that was Della wanted to give a precious gift. I think we have come to know the setting of the story. That was the day of Christmas Eve. The next day would be Christmas. They are going to celebrate the Christmas at the next day, and this Eve, Della wanted to give a precious gift to her husband Jim. On the other hand, Jim also wanted to buy a precious gift to his beautiful wife Della. Okay, but how it is going to be happen? How the love? What kind of love they had each other? Yes, what do we understand after coming to know the story of Gift of the Magi? So we'll come to know a lot of things about love. Della, she has bought a platinum chain to her husband's watch, because always he used to tell Della that he wanted to buy a chain for his watch. To buy that platinum chain, because platinum, it is not easy to buy for a poor girl like Della. It is very costly to buy platinum watch. So what she decided to sell her beautiful long hair to buy that platinum chain. On the other hand, what did Jim do? So he decided to buy a set of shell combs for his wife Della, because Della had a beautiful long hair, and she used to tell Jim that she wanted to have she wanted to have the shell combs to comb her beautiful long hair. at last what happened? But at last what happens? Both their gifts will go in vain, because without coming to know each other, they bought those two gifts, but both the gifts are not going to be used. So both Della and Jim are not rich, but they are rich by hearts. This is very important line here. They are not rich. In the beginning itself, I have come to know that they were suffering from utter poverty. Jim had to work a lot to get his livelihood. They were not so rich, but they are rich by hearts. Such a wonderful line. They are rich by hearts. They are not rich by money, but they are rich by hearts. Love is all about giving and not taking or expecting. So what a beautiful line here. So here we'll find the definition of love. So what definition we are going to find here? If you are going to love a person honestly, so you should not expect anything, or you're not going to take something from that person. So expectation should not be there when you are in pure love. Pure love that should not expect, or should not take, or should not collect anything from the person whom you are going to love. So these are all the things about the concept of love what we have already discussed in the story. So where that word Magi has come from, where it has come from, the biblical story of the Magi, three wise men. See that the Magi, that word has, we can see that word in Bible. So that is what the story has been stated, that biblical story of Magi, three wise men. So who are those three wise men? After Jesus was born, three wise men came to look for him. They were certainly men of great learning. Those three persons, those three wise men were great men of great learning. The word Magi comes from the Greek word magos, where the English word magic comes from. Okay, Magi has come from the word Greek word magos. They had seen an unusual new star in the sky and knew that it told of the birth of a special king. So this is the biblical story. If you want more information about this biblical story, you can go for any of the website, and if you type in Google biblical story of the Magi, you will come to know the details of the story. They had seen an unusual new star in the sky and knew that it told of the birth of a special king. So who is the king here? Jesus Christ is the king. Okay, so by three wise men, they had seen an unusual new star in the sky, and they came to know that it told about the birth of a special king. Special king is none other than Jesus Christ. They will take three gifts to the king. What are the three gifts they have taken? They have brought to the king, to Jesus Christ. The first one is gold, that is associated with the kings, and the Christians believe that Jesus is the King of Kings. Okay, all these things you will get all these informations in a biblical story. So these are all the three gifts they have brought to infant king. And the second gift, frankincense. What is meant by frankincense is sometimes used in worship in churches. In churches, this thing will be used to worship Jesus Christ. And the third gift they have brought, it is a myrrh. It is a perfume that is put on dead bodies to make smell nice. To preserve dead bodies, they will use this gift. And so what is the author's conclusion? What did authors say at the end of the story? So every one of us have come to know that what happens at the end. Because what happens at the end, they have brought precious gifts to each other, but both gifts are not going to be used for each other. So what does the author say at the end of the story? So he says, O. Henry has lamely related to us the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children. So he says two foolish children. So who are two foolish children here? Jim and Della, in a flat, who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. They had two important they are the greatest treasures of their house. The first treasure was Della's long beautiful hair, and the second treasure was Jim's gold watch. That watch had come from his father's and his father's. Okay, so that is what he says, the greatest, the important treasures of their house. And he says, of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are wisest. So at last he says, they are the wisest, who receives gifts and who gives. Everywhere they are wisest, they are Magi. So because of their true love, they have sacrificed their greatest treasure. So finally they are going to be Magi. So here in this slide, you will let us learn about the session summary, what we have discussed till now in this session. True meaning of love. We have come to know what is the true meaning of love. The true meaning, it can be found in this story. The love had happened in between Della and Jim. That can be seen in the life of Della and Jim. Poverty was not an obstacle for their genuine love, for their honest love. Poverty has not become an obstacle. Poverty, ಬಡತನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವರ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾದಂತಹ ಪ್ರೀತಿಗೆ ಅಡ್ಡ ಬರಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. The Bible story of three wise men from the Gospel of Matthew is also known as the three kings. So the three kings, they have brought the three gifts. We already come to know that gold, frankincense and myrrh. The author has concluded the story by giving an example from the biblical story. So this is the summary we have discussed in this session. So let us go for multiple choice questions. Let me ask you, and you should answer yourself. The first question is, when did the three wise men come to see Jesus? The three wise men. Option A, during Christmas, after his death, after his birth, after the sun sets. The three wise men. So when did they come? After his birth. The answer is C. The word Magi comes from the language dash. From which language the word has come from? Already we have discussed that word has come from Greek. The options are Latin, Greek, Persian and English. The option is B. And the third question, short story writer O. Henry belongs to the following place. From which place he hails from? Option A, England. Option B, Germany. Option C, New York. Option D, Paris. So answer is New York. Option C. The fourth question, which one of the following gifts the three wise men did not bring? So they have brought three important gifts, but they have not brought one of the following gifts. So which one is that? That options are like this: gold, myrrh, platinum, frankincense. The answer is platinum. Platinum chain was bought by Della to Jim's watch. Okay, and the option is platinum. I mean C. And the fifth question and the last question, when does Della want to buy a gift for her husband? So when did she want to buy gift? So here four options given. The first option is for New Year. Is it the right answer? No, it cannot be. And on Christmas, I think it is also not correct answer. On Good Friday, on Christmas Eve. The answer is D, on Christmas Eve. The next day would be the Christmas. Next day they are going to celebrate the Christmas. But on the previous day they wanted to buy gift to each other. So this is the references from which site I have borrowed this about the story Three Wise Men, and how I have linked that Three Wise Men story to this short story Gift of the Magi. So Innovation Board of Editors, approved by Board of Studies in English, University of Coimbatore University, Shivamoga, Shankaraghatta, and this is the site www.whychristmas.com. So from here I have borrowed this I have borrowed a little information to this PPT session. Thank you so much. Let us continue with the same lesson in our next PPT session. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.